Pod Chef. Pod Chef. Pod Chef. Pod Chef. You're listening to Pod Chef. When I say pod, y'all say chef. Pod Chef. You listening to Pod Chef. It's a podcast about Top Chef, and that's a broadcast. It's on TV, and you can watch it. They got 19 seasons, that's a lot, kid, but you can skip those. We do recaps about the whole show, not the food though, but the other stuff. Yeah. You're now listening to Pod Chef, the only official podcast about the TV show Top Chef, with your hosts, Jamal, Brian, and Reeves. And I only said their first names because I don't know everyone's last name, and I'm trying to be polite. Now enjoy the show.
Welcome to Pod Chef, the official Top Chef rewatch podcast. I'm your host, Jamal. With me, as always, is my co-host, Reeves. Say hello.
What's up, everyone? What's up, pod babies? We got a good one for you today.
And
Get excited.
And Reeves, now, do you want to introduce your co-host? I know you're my co-host, but you also have a co-host.
I have a co-host working for me now.
Yeah.
It's a new thing for him, so he's gonna make a lot of mistakes.
Bear with him.
He barely knows what he's doing, but I'm handing him something that he needs, which is an opportunity.
Yep.
So I'm pulling him up, and this is my co-host, Brian. Brian, would you like to say hi?
Goodbye, Oh shit! I messed up already.
Okay.
Yeah, one job.
Hey, this is a learning moment. It's a learning moment.
Take it again.
Take it again.
Take
Okay.
it again.
All right.
Breathe. Take it one more time.
Breeze, will you team me up again,
Yes.
please?
And with me is my co-host. You love him. You hate him. You love to hate him. Bye.
What?
Okay.
Okay.
You messed up. Let's just go.
It's fine. He's not.
Am I
getting
too loud? I'm peaking a lot. Is that
You're
a thing
always
that's happening
you're
again?
always loud. We don't have time to do this. Look, we
I
have to
thought
be
we
on
fixed
our best
it last
behavior.
time.
No.
Brian, we have to be on our best behavior. We have a huge guest.
Yes.
Worst
Huge
behavior,
guest.
Drake. Worst behavior, Drake.
We have a huge guest. and
Drake, worst behavior.
Please don't embarrass me.
I won't.
We have a huge guest, and I'm going to introduce her now. You saw her in season 18 of Top Chef. She's a two-time James Beard Rising Star semifinalist. She also received Eat Her Young Gun 2015 award, and she has way more tattoos than Brian. Please welcome to the show, Chef Sara Hauman.
Hello. Thank you for having me. This is great.
Thank you for being here.
I like that I have more tattoos than Brian.
I only have two.
Okay, then that's not hard to beat then.
They're pretty big though.
They're huge.
One's my entire back, and then the other is my entire front, but they don't connect, and they're not related at all.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, the tattoo on his back is the same as what 50 Cent has, the big Get Rich or Die Trying mural.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's pretty great. Yeah.
And what's the one on the front,
absolutely.
Jamal?
It's just a picture of the dog that you like the most, of your two dogs.
Okay.
Love that. Which one's your favorite dog?
I don't have a favorite dog, but it's the one that I got first. So he has a tattoo, and I don't have a tattoo of the other one yet. And here's why: tattoos hurt.
Mm-hmm.
They do. You know what? They actually incrementally hurt as you age.
Oh,
And I'm
I've
old,
realized.
and I started old, so thank you.
Yeah, I gotta say, I think I'm kind of off the tattoo train too.
They're not
I've
worth
reached
it in the
that
long
point.
run.
I have other things to spend my money on, like,
Mhm.
seeing the world now that we
Mhm.
can.
Yes.
That's a little bit more important to me.
And you don't look like a sailor as much. You get too many tattoos, you look like a sailor. And people
That's why
start to-
I don't
A
get it.
little
Yeah,
bit.
people
'Cause I
want to
don't
put you
wanna
on a
think I'm
boat.
sailor.
Yeah, people want to put you on a
100%.
boat.
I can't man a boat, so that's why I don't have any. Jamal, why don't you have any tattoos?
Because I love anchors, and that's the only tattoo I'd get. And
That's right.
If I'm walking around town and I've got anchor tattoos, people are like, "Oh, were you in the Navy?" And I'm like, "No."
You're getting put on a boat.
Yeah, and then like inappropriate people are like, "Oh, are you? Oh, there's a seaman over there." It's like, stop it, dude.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm not dealing with that again.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's not worth it. No, don't deal with it. Yeah.
Sarah, which one of your? I wanted to ask, which one of your tattoos has the most meaning for you, and why?
You know, I've always been kind of I don't collect a lot of things. I don't like having a lot of things. So for me, tattoos were all about collecting the art of the artist. So I often don't necessarily go in with this huge, this is exactly what I want, because I want them to express, do what they do best. You know, they're the professional. I will say the one tattoo that I have that has meaning is a portrait of my dad. He passed away 10 years ago next year. So that's really the only one with any sort of sentimental meaning to me.
Okay. Now, are
Yeah.
your tattoos only on the left side?
Okay, so I started on the right side. I've got my right foot tattooed, and then for some reason, I guess I'm just like that person. It's like a coloring book, you know, and I have to finish I have to finish it before I move on.
Mm-hmm.
It's too big of a commitment if I start the other side. Then I gotta
Yeah.
finish it.
And as you said, they get
So
more painful.
yes, and then a lot of people have tried to analyze that about me, you know, like the duality of who I am as a person, the whole 9 yards. And really, I think it's just a funny little coincidence.
All right. So first, we were just want to get this out the way because Tom Colicchio obviously makes us do this podcast, and he reaches out from time to time. Brian Reeves, did either of you get anything from Tom this week on his travels?
I did not. Oh, you did? Well, let's lead with that. Let's see what that. Yeah.
So, to fill in Sarah and anyone who's just checking out the podcast because of Sarah, first off, where you been? Second, Tom Colicchio very recently went on a walkabout. He wanted to get away, so he took Reeves, our dear
in
friend
preparation for Top Chef London, by the way.
Yes. Yeah, well, that's what he says. But
yeah, that's what he says. But
he went out like the show Alone. He was watching the show Alone, got really into it, and he says, "I want to do that." But he took Reeves, so he took some liberties with the show. And he was out there for lots of days, and he was keeping a journal. And he gave us the journal. Reeves stole the journal, and he told us to read pages of it. So if you don't mind, I will read a passage from the journal. So that people can know, because Tom wants us to do this. So sorry if you'll just bear with us for just a moment. Okay.
Yeah.
Does that all make sense to you, Sarah?
I mean, I live a weird, crazy life, so abso-freaking-lutely.
Okay. All right.
So this is it's Tom's travel journal. This is day 29, and it says
a little over 2 weeks.
It says, "Oh, here we go. Last night I had the strangest dream. They say one of the first signs of starvation are food dreams, and boy, did I ever have a food dream last night. It started in the Top Chef kitchen, but it wasn't quite the Top Chef kitchen. It sort of looked like my mom's kitchen growing up, but different. It seems like I'm alone. I look down and see a pot of water boiling on the stove in front of me. I taste it. It's not salty enough. I reach for the salt, but when I grab the box, it turns into a box full of spiders. I taste the spiders, and they are salty, so I drop some of them in the water. But as soon as I do, I hear my mom's voice. Tommy, why are you using salt in the water? I look down at my hands, and they are small. I'm little Tommy. I say, Mama, I wanted to use a salt, but there was a spiders. She gives me a look.
I have a question. I'm sorry. Sorry to slow you down. Now, we're hearing a great impression of his mom. Spot on. Exactly what we all know her to be.
I'm in the time period. As soon as you started doing that, I was like, I'm there.
You're in like New York or New Jersey, I think.
Absolutely. Is it written in her accent?
It is phonetically written. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Right.
And it's even like, it kind of looks like, you have to see it. Let's see. She gives me a look of disappointment, but then in a moment she's gone. My pot is now a big bowl of spaghetti. I grab my fork and I'm in front of an audience, and they are dead silent. I twirl some spaghetti and the audience gasps.
Been there.
I bring the fork to my mouth and they go, ah, with it rising. I rise the fork up to my mouth and they go, ah. I bring the fork down and they lower their ahs. They're in my hands. I work them like an orchestra and I am their conductor, a food conductor. I take a bite. They roar with applause. I stand up to bow and I'm naked. I run off the stage and my mom is there with spiders. I wake up. This is hell. I want to go home. Ribs rubbed my head and comforted me. I miss Padma.
All right. That's a typical journal that he leaves us. So.
Yeah.
He was roughing it out there for
It's tough,
months.
man. Day 29.
Day 29.
It was rough, and he often did wake up screaming with night terrors, and I just had to give him a little bit of a rub to get him to calm down, go back to sleep, give him his binky, and then
Give him his scarf.
It was funny. His scarf,
Yeah.
Wrap
Yeah,
him
and his
tight in
hat. You put his
yeah.
hat on.
Well, I would have to wrap his scarf like kind of around his hands too to like keep him close together, and that helped him. Yeah.
Yeah. And he wears gloves so he doesn't scratch his face, right? His nails are real sharp.
That's right. We didn't bring any nail clippers or anything like that. Yeah. So that helped him too. That is an interesting. It was a dream journal entry, really. That's interesting.
Yeah. So, you have any thoughts on that?
I applaud anyone who can remember a dream that well.
Yeah.
I know. Photographic memory of it is pretty amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
It felt like he
I'm
was
lucky
writing
if I remember a tidbit of my dream, 8 hours after I wake up.
Felt like he was writing it as he was dreaming it. It was so
Maybe.
Absolutely.
Who knows? People have done weird. People do when they're dreaming. They get up and walk around.
I think I think that he missed his calling to be a fiction writer. Quite honestly,
He's
I mean, with a
very
story like
artistic.
that,
if you say
absolutely.
that, you'd love to read up on the Top Chef movie that's in the works.
Oh yeah, we'll have to send that to you.
We can't talk about it now, but there is a Top Chef movie in the works. It's over 1,000 pages. It's Tom's Opus Dei, so it is going to be a work of masterpiece fiction when it's done.
I mean, with writing like that, and dreams like that, really.
Yeah.
So, speaking of dreams, you lived a lot of people's dreams being on Top Chef.
I did. I didn't realize I was living people's dreams.
A lot of people want to be on the show. Want to be
It's true.
I don't know where Jamal's going, but I do. So I read.
I was going back to the interview, Brian.
No,
That's what
so am I. So am I. I read an interview that you did with Variety to make sure I didn't ask any questions that they asked, so it can be original.
Sure. Yeah.
It's so embarrassing, Sarah. You have no idea how many times Variety eats our lunch on interview questions.
Eats our lunch.
I swear they have this thing bugged.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I've pretty much done, I feel like a different person than I was 2 years ago. So maybe my answers are different. Anyway.
Ooh, okay.
Question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you said, this is probably fact, so it might not be different, but you said that it turns out that Top Chef was actually courting you and that you didn't apply for the show. They kept bugging you to be on the show. And you several times turned them down.
I sure did, yeah.
Wow.
I sure did, yeah.
Do you think that's why you got sent home early? Was because you gave them a cold shoulder, so they wanted to give it back to you?
Do you think it was the nagging?
It's possible. It's possible. I think they just had some bad feelings. They were still a little bit salty about the whole situation. They had been asking me to go on the show, and I've always been a really quiet, introverted person, keep my head down, working. I feel like most kitchen people are like that, or at least used to be. Now it's a little bit different with the celebrity chef age we live in. But they had asked me, and it just didn't seem like the right time. And it didn't really ever occur to me that, I don't know, that they would just keep asking me. I thought I burned the bridge long ago, but they continued to just keep pushing. And I finally said yes. And I remember I was talking with the producers, and I kind of said something to the effect of, well, it's whatever. Like, who watches the show anymore anyways? It's so, it's been on for...
We got to edit that part out.
Tom can't hear that.
Yeah.
If Tom hears that, we're done.
It's like, man, who watches this show still? Is it even popular? Because I've been a chef for so long. I don't have time to watch TV or anything. And the producers just laughed at me and said, you do understand this is a very high risk, high reward situation. And if no one watched this show, we wouldn't have jobs. the first day I stepped on set, and you see the whole kitchen stadium, I realized that it was millions of dollars put into it, and I just went, ruh-roh. I don't know what I just got myself into.
So when you got on set, it was
I just wander through life a little bit naively. It's okay.
I think that's a great thing. I just learned what a 401k is today. So I think you're, it's the same thing. People think it's cute. People think it's really cute when you do that kind of
People
stuff.
think it's charming.
Yep.
They think it's charming. Absolutely.
Who did you connect with on the show almost like right away? Did you connect with any of the chefs right away? Did you know anyone beforehand?
So I knew Sasha beforehand. We both kind of, we never really worked together, but we ran in similar circles, living in San Francisco and working in San Francisco for so long. Other than that, I knew absolutely no one. And I didn't even go in with this whole, sweet thing of, oh, I'm going to meet so many friends. I just kind of did it. Um, so the connection with friends was pretty awesome. That I did find. I think the people that I'm close with now are definitely not the people that I was close with on the show. And I think again that just comes with getting out of that situation and kind of seeing people's true colors, and two, seeing people act differently in that sort of high tense situation. Also, like I said, wander through life a little bit naively. I didn't really go in it thinking I'm gonna win and this huge thing and this is a competition. I just kind of did it to see how it was going. But there were people there who had competed before. I had never competed on any sort of television situation. And then, you realize Dawn, for instance, immediately comes out the gate saying that she's basically been on every competition show there is. And so it was a little bit of a, okay. It was kind of a new world almost that I was introduced to, this circuit of competing chefs that do Food Network stuff and Top Chef things and all that good stuff.
So people change when the camera's turned on. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. And you know what? It finally occurred to me, I guess, at that moment that I am always just me. Camera on and camera off, which is probably why they wanted me on a reality TV show so badly.
Yeah. Tell us about what you've been doing since Top Chef and the Tiny Fish Company.
Jamal, please. You got to say please.
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 Tell us about it.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, gosh. I was very direct with Jamal. I apologize.
So after the show let out, there's a little bit of a gap before it airs. And so I kind of just did what I kept doing. I disrupted my personal life because I had this little bit of confidence and was like, all right, I've been doing some weird things in my personal life, so let's get it together. So I did that, kind of dealt with that. The show started airing. I pretty much just said yes to everything, every opportunity, every podcast, every interview, and started getting opportunities to have these dinners where I make, side money, whatever. So it got to be a little bit too much with having a full-time job on top of basically having a full-time job doing all these interviews and whatnot. And I got super lucky. Of course, I'm on the show. I didn't think, so for reference, we do these interviews after each episode, of course, but sometimes we're not going to interview about a specific episode for days. So we'll interview about maybe two different episodes or two different challenges at the same time. And when I had said my dream is to open a boutique cannery, that was actually my very, very initial interview before the show before the competition started. What I was noticing about the interviews watching the show was that they were very much in chronological order. So I didn't think that they would ever air that. And honestly, I think I completely forgot that I had said that. So when that came out, I don't know, I was pretty stoked about that. It was always like some strange dream of mine. I lived in Spain for a long time, and I think that's where the wheels started turning on that end. And I had a buddy, I don't know, people, man. I had a buddy who said, if you're not doing this because of money, that's no reason to not do what you want. I got super lucky in stocks and in my job. I need to decrease my taxable income. Here you go. So I worked out a deal with him, and basically started the process of what it would take to open a cannery. And in doing so, I did a lot of homework, and I realized that I could make a product without having to make a product, so to speak. So I get my product manufactured, but they're all my recipes, and I'm very close with my manufacturer, and I actually do recipe development for my manufacturer's own brand. It was kind of I basically have been giving myself this crazy crash course in business and accounting and obviously the tinned fish and sustainable fish movement. But it's been a way for me to continue to work with food. And I'm busy as heck, but I just have so much more time because I'm not chained to an actual restaurant. So I have time to lift my head out of the sand, kind of start not wandering through the world as naively as I used to, and have a different skill. Because for me, I love being a chef. I love restaurants. It's all that I know. But the idea that I'm gonna be, 55 years old, standing behind a stove for 15 hours a day just is, it's a little depressing. I gotta be honest.
That's also maybe the old school version of like the career of a chef, whereas now you have all these new opportunities to like do your own
Yes.
thing.
Yeah, I've never been the person to do things the standard way. I did really well in high school. I had pre-acceptance into any UC that I wanted to go to, but it just wasn't, I just didn't want that. That's what everyone does. Everyone goes to college and has that life, and that's never appealed to me. I have to do things my way. And even with Tiny Fish Co. now, I don't run it like a standard CPG company. And I think that is because I'm coming at it with a different lens. I'm coming at it with a creative lens. I never even thought that I was a creative person. If you would have asked me, 3, 4, 5 years ago, I would have told you, oh no, I'm very business oriented. I'm a business person. I have a business mind. And I've recently learned that is absolutely not the case at all. I'm the creative force behind, whatever this company is. I realized very quickly I suck at sales, so I've outsourced all of the things that I'm not very good at. But what I am good at is getting creative about my weaknesses. And so for me, like, I'm in San Francisco right now. So when I travel and I do dinners, I do these dinners, but I use my products. And to be able to, I just did 2 nights of dinners at a fine dining, restaurant that's, it doesn't have any Michelin stars, but it might soon one day. And it's really fun to be able to take a product that I make and say, hey, I'm still a part of this restaurant industry, and this is why. And it's really important to me to actually prop up chefs and really encourage them to make products, because what I learned is most of the products on the grocery store shelves are actually not made by food people. They're made by big corporations. They're white label products that marketing and branding people slap a pretty label on, and when you're talking about a chef driven product versus the other product, we both think about money. Obviously, money runs the world. However, I'm thinking less about money and more about the quality, because my name's on it, because I have that chef brain, and I'm always going to do that. Whereas the other people don't have that connection to the actual product. So they're kind of just thinking about the money.
Yeah.
And it really, I guess it really opened my eyes to why our food system is so fucked up, really. It's because of this. It's because we value different things in food. We're not valuing nutrition and quality. We're valuing the dollar first and foremost.
Yeah, that's
not to put a damper on.
No,
on the
that's
podcast.
No, it's okay. We oftentimes, a lot of times, our podcasts really just shine a spotlight on nutrition and the food.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Big
the
food
system.
industry.
Yeah, I've
big
seen
bread, big gluten.
I saw that
Big
corn
word.
documentary.
Big corn.
Sarah, what do you have against big fish?
Big fish. Oh, nothing. Nothing. People say all the time, they go, is it weird that, or actually only some a-holes in my life have said this to me, but they say, is it isn't it kind of funny that you don't tin actual small fish like anchovies or sardines? And I say, yes, but you're taking it a little bit too literal. For me, it was about, because I've always felt like kind of like a, tiny fish in a big pond, because I've always had a very low self-esteem. I was just talking to a friend about this today. It's like, I feel like the kitchen kind of breeds people with low self-esteem to work in it. You don't want the attention, you just want to go back there, you say yes chef. And so I had a pretty low self-esteem for a really long time, and for me it was more about, let's give the tiny fish in the ocean a voice, and that includes take it however you want to, but that's why I focus on sustainable species. Salmon, for instance, would be like the big boy, and tuna is the big boy. They also are big fish, obviously, very obviously. But it was, how do I give rockfish a little bit more of some love? And because at the end of the day, we can continue to consume our tuna and our salmon. It's delicious, but all that's going to do is make it less, it's going to drive the cost up, one, and two, every year fishermen have less and less limits to catch those things, which again just drives the cost up. So counterintuitively, I want people to eat more, for instance, rockfish, because we want to encourage fishermen to go out for the rockfish, driving that price up, but also kind of like equaling out the salmon cost as well. It's a whole thing. Like I said, I gave myself a crash course in this crazy fish economy.
Yeah. Doesn't it also allow for the salmon population and whatnot to like rebound a little bit if we're going after the rockfish?
Yes,
and the rockfish are
absolutely,
out there
absolutely.
like, why is no one catching me? What's wrong with me? And then like that boosts their self-esteem.
Exactly.
Yeah, they get a complex.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. See, it's all about the tiny fish in the ocean and the tiny fish in our hearts.
Yeah. This is why they need chefs to be out here making these decisions, because you guys care about the food.
Yes, and
Reese,
and the environment.
Yeah,
I
and the
think that's a huge thing. Again, that I've seen is, you can write whatever the heck you want on a package to try to sell it, and you have these companies that are saying, this is a sustainable product. This is a sustainable product, and no one's really understanding that. They're sourcing product from abroad. They're getting it freighted over, frozen or refrigerated to the US. It's then processed here and then shipped out to fulfillment and distribution centers. So how are you going to call that a sustainable product when your carbon footprint on creating that product is massive?
Massive. And let's not even get started on the olive oil
Let's
wars.
not even get started on climate change.
Let's not even get started on that. Let's move on to a segment we like to do every week, and you're going to hopefully join us. It's called Chefs I Prepared for You. This is a segment where we talk about what we had for dinner last night and only last night, and present it as if we're presented to the judges on Top Chef, and there will be a winner. I'll go first. Chefs I Prepared for You. Scrambled eggs with cheddar and bacon, and an arugula salad with Parmesan cheese and lemon juice and white lemon balsamic vinegar. I had Brenner.
Ooh.
You had a Brenner.
Two kinds of cheese. You're doing two cheeses.
Well, I'm trying to reintroduce cheese into my diet, so I'm going slowly. One
by
ounce
having
at a time.
two cheeses, of
Yeah,
course.
by having two of them.
Yeah. That's slow, right?
I mean, you could do 5.
I could have done 5.
Right. Absolutely. I guess
And
it's
I said,
all perspective.
Pump the brakes, Jamal. 2 is enough.
Jamal, can you name 5 cheeses right now?
Yes.
Gruyere, Gouda, cheddar, mozzarella, American, although I don't think that's cheese.
You can buy it at the store. I'll give it to you.
Goat's cheese.
You almost did all G's.
Provolone.
You did.
That was impressive.
Are there more than 3 G's? Cheese, goat, Gruyere. What was that one you said?
Gouda.
Gouda.
Which, isn't that pronounced some other way?
I think it's pronounced Hauda.
Yeah.
If you're doing it
What?
correctly,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since
See,
when?
me and Sarah have
know.
traveled. We know the world, so
This.
I can
Okay,
make
so
that, and like
okay,
you should
so
understand.
this is. I mean, I know we're gonna probably get there at some point, but I pretty exclusively only read / listen to nonfiction books about food history.
Oh wow.
Nerd.
Is there some way we can take that clip and edit in Pod Chef instead of the food history part?
Yeah, that would do us wonders.
And Dale said nice things too about us.
So
Wow,
it's
you're just
Huda.
watching TV food
That's
history
pretty
TV
cool.
shows all the time. Yeah, not even like you're
Yeah.
doing that all the time. You're not watching freaking Squid Games. That's got food in the title.
Yeah, it's got food.
Gosh, no, it does. It does. You know what's funny is I just have like I've never been more aware of my attention and focus problems until this last couple of years of my life. And watching TV is actually really, really hard for me. It's hard for me to focus. I
Okay.
can't. So any sort of like series, it's really hard. A lot of times when I put TV on, it's like so that I can kind of shut my brain off a little bit and just completely blank out, and I don't know what's happening on the TV or in my life. I'm just there. I'm existing in front of a Netflix screen.
There's a lot of horror movies on Netflix that are good for that.
Oh,
Scary
Just-
though.
I bet. Like I said, I've had a little bit more time these days, so it's been nice to not wander through my life brain dead.
All right,
Chefs.
any more questions on mine? Or are we moving here?
No. All right. Chefs, I prepared for you creamy chickpea pasta with spinach
Ooh.
and rosemary. Thank you, New York Times Cooking.
Exclusively New York Times cooking.
Yeah, he
I
is
love
always
that
cooking
place.
from the New York
I think
Times.
He's the number one fan. He watches all their YouTube videos too.
All their YouTube
Yeah.
videos, they're all good.
He knows them by name. He's like, "Did you see this one?" Sends the
Mhm.
link to me. I'm
Send
like,
it to,
"No."
I haven't seen the new one today, which I really want to watch. But anyway, questions?
Creamy chickpea
Creamy
pasta.
chickpea.
So is it
Pasta.
pasta made? Is it pasta made from chickpea flour, or was it pasta plus chickpeas?
Great
Plus
question.
chickpeas.
Great question.
That's a good one.
Plus chickpeas.
Mhm.
Okay.
What made it creamy?
There's some heavy cream in it.
Okay, that'll do it. That'll do it.
That
Yeah,
makes
that'll
the
make it
cream.
creamy. That'll
And
make
some
it
do
creamy.
it.
cheese.
I'm gonna reference Sarah's Variety interview again because I'm an interview person.
Mhm.
You were asked about the yogurt thing, of course. That's your thing. It's the
Mhm.
yogurt thing. You said that you will use yogurt to replace lots of things instead of cream.
Mhm.
Would you put yogurt in that creamy chickpea pasta instead of heavy cream?
Probably not. No.
Okay.
No.
Why is that? Because
I might-
when I was making it, I had a spoon of yogurt that I was about to pour in, and I was like, "No, I shouldn't do it."
Well, yogurt when you cook it is a little bit funny because it will split because there's not enough fat in it. That's why you use cream to emulsify things because it's got so much fat in it. So yogurt, yeah, you could use it if you want. It's not gonna look very appetizing. But-
It'll be a bunch of
yeah.
little white like dots all in it.
Yeah, absolutely. My question is,
Ooh,
why do we call it heavy cream if we don't even have what's light cream?
there we go.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
get them. Why
Yeah.
is it heavy
Why is it heavy cream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've literally, what the F is light cream milk?
And who is setting the limit on the weight of the cream
Yeah.
to determine
Exactly.
what's heavy and what's light?
Did
Who's
they get on the
weighing
Batman
these?
ride? They trying to get on the Batman ride? It's
Please-
like, no, you have to get out of here.
I hope this is not a European standard we're going by. for
Are we
cream.
food shaming?
Yeah, are
Yes.
we food shaming?
A little bit.
Leave
We
them
shouldn't talk about
alone.
the size of any cream.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
You acknowledge that it's
true,
cream and you move on.
true.
We all know that cream rises to the top
Absolutely.
anyways. So
Is light cream half and half because it's not full cream? It's also milk.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. Okay. Now we're getting someplace.
We'll figure this out and we'll do a
We'll
documentary
figure it
about
out.
it. It'll be
Yeah.
called.
well, we're gonna make a podcast about food history so she listens to it.
Mm,
Yeah. And it'll just be the
Yes,
history of cream.
absolutely.
Yeah.
no one's gonna listen to that. We don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I'll go. Chefs, last night I prepared for you. Oh my god, can you believe this? We wore the same dress to the prom. Garlicky mushroom scrambled eggs and turkey bacon.
Oh, wow.
So embarrassing for the
I
two
did a
of
Brenner
you.
also. I
Yeah.
Did a
know.
We
Brenner.
both did Brenner, and now people are looking at us at the prom like they're wearing the same dress.
I know,
How
and the
embarrassing.
thing is that I bought mine, so I already spilled juice on it, so I can't return it.
And mine's knockoff FUBU dress.
I guess mine is too, 'cause it's the same one as yours.
What kind of mushrooms were you using?
Just Baby Bella. I was in the store. I was in the Whole Foods, and I can be more adventurous with mushrooms, but for some reason I felt basic mushroom yesterday. I felt the Baby Bellas were like calling to me. I was like, I could go like a lion's mane. That wouldn't be good with the eggs, but I bought them on a whim. I bought the mushrooms without an idea of where to put them, and I was gonna make eggs, and I was like, what would be good? Some mushrooms. Is it gonna be good in that? Some garlic. Or you know what? It was good. I did a good job.
Brian's leaving out that he's a little baby crazy these days.
Oh,
What?
with baby mushrooms?
Yeah, just with baby foods. So he's got baby spinach.
I'm that age that all my friends have Baby Bellas, and you start to you want to have Baby Bellas too.
Mm-hmm. You had a friend up the street
everywhere.
Baby kale, right?
I'm eating a lot of veal.
God.
I thought we could have hit baby carrots before.
Yeah, I was hoping we'd hit another vegetable too.
Oh, sorry.
Honestly, the best thing I've ever eaten in my life was baby goat. Like real baby.
Oh, wow.
So,
and that's hard to hear.
Isn't that
really hard to hear, but it was the most delicious thing I've ever eaten in my life. It was so good.
And so
it was incredible.
We're both traveled people, so we both know that a baby goat is called a kid. So
it is.
You just admitted it.
I've definitely eaten a kid. I've eaten a kid.
Wow,
that's another clip for us.
My favorite type of protein.
You and that guy. Was that celebrity who said he's definitely a cannibal? You know what I'm talking about?
No, I know what you're talking about.
Really attractive man. He told some girl he was going to eat her. And he got completely canceled. He was in Call Me By Your Name. My wife's going to yell the name up the stairs.
It sounds like something you'd hear in a Kanye West speech.
Army Hammer, which of course, the name like Army Hammer,
Army
you're going to
Hammer,
eat somebody.
All right, Chef Sarah, what did you have?
Okay, so I didn't actually make dinner. Is this going to mess everything up?
Oh,
if you bought it, you can do chefs I procured for you.
Okay, so chefs I procured for you. What did I have last night? I had a delicious like radicchio kale salad with some walnuts and a vinaigrette situation. A chopped chicken liver toast. And a spaghetti pomodoro.
Ooh, wow.
Okay. I had a full on feast.
Did you say chicken liver toast?
Yeah, like chopped chicken liver on toast. It was delicious. I love liver.
It's delicious.
Incredible.
It's great.
Yeah.
Why are the yuckiest meats so good?
I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't look pretty. It's not pretty, but
it's also very good for you.
It is very, very good for you. I heard it helps with anxiety, actually.
Yeah. The
random food knowledge.
Yeah.
You need some random food facts? I got them.
We do.
Well, you spent a lot of time in Portland and California, but if people were like, I had too much anxiety, you'd think you'd tell them to go out there and get some cannabis, but you're like, no, eat liver.
Yes. Cannabis, absolutely. Sure. Yeah. Or, mushrooms are a huge thing now. Psychedelics are, decriminalized in Oregon now. So I'm sure that's next on everyone's, how do we tax that for the people, to make their lives a little bit better naturally and not involve drug companies.
Well, yeah, they need to have theirs too, Sarah. Come on, we got to. You're trying to take money out of these wealthy politicians and medicine people. They have children too, Sarah. They have children, and
I know, and I'm about to eat those kids.
She's talking about the goats that they own. Okay,
her and Army Hammer eating goats.
Talking about the goats.
You guys didn't hear that story, Army Hammer?
I have no idea what you're talking
about. Do you guys
about.
not do celeb news?
I'm into celeb news, but I did not hear that news.
Okay. So we got to vote now.
Yeah, we got to vote now. Okay, I'll go first.
Wait, you said spaghetti pomodoro?
Mm-hmm.
So just the regular spaghetti noodles and red sauce?
Mm-hmm.
Does that change your vote, Brian?
It's not very
I mean,
fancy. It does sound good though.
It's not very fancy. Yeah.
Chicken liver toast is kind of fancy more.
That's
than
pretty fancy. But she didn't cook though, and that's usually a pretty big.
Yes, it is for us because we're not chefs, right? We're home cooks for ourselves and our families, but she's a professional chef, so
this is different.
She probably cooked all day and was like, someone else needs to cook for me right now.
Well, no, I would.
I'm trying to help here.
Not really.
I'm trying to help here.
All right, Jamal, you want to vote first?
Yeah, you want to vote?
Yeah. So also before we do this, I talked to the voting committee on Chefs I Prepare for You, and they said we're not allowed to vote for ourselves anymore.
What?
Yeah, they said that we're obviously fixing the votes because we keep voting for ourselves, so we're not allowed to vote for ourselves anymore.
Wow.
And then they also said "suck it" at the end of the letter that they wrote.
Yeah. Well, you were talking to Triple H, right?
Yeah,
he's the commissioner of this voting. Is Hunter Hearst Helmsley?
Yes.
Him and the whole Degeneration X. That's like a tribunal.
The meetings take
Triple H,
more wrestling.
Triple H, and Shawn Marks, also known as X-Pac. Road Dogg is there. Billy Gunn, Shawn Michaels,
Shawn Marks.
Yeah,
I'm voting for Sara.
Okay.
No,
That's
I got
so
my vote.
nice.
This is very, very generous.
Me, I just gotta think. Brian, what's this? Mushrooms. So mushrooms are still illegal. This is Brenner. I'm voting for Sara.
Aw, thanks.
All right.
wow.
That's 2 now, Brian.
And I'm gonna abstain.
Okay.
Okay.
Do I get a vote? Can I vote?
Yes,
You
of
get to
course.
vote. Yeah, you get to vote.
Okay. So my vote is, I'm sorry, Reeves, but the creativity, because you used the New York Times recipe, so it wasn't really like a creative move.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And I think, that I have this thing for like small animals, children, etc., that I just really like, makes me very hungry. So I think I'm gonna have to go with Brian's eggs and small mushrooms and small spinach, and that's my vote.
If I had voted for myself, we would have been tied, but I can't do that anymore.
You can't go back now.
You can't go back.
You already submitted it.
That's
so
okay. I've never gotten second place before, so that's good.
You ever done that? Voted in a presidential election, then walked back in and been like, "I think I made a mistake."
I just try to get it back.
Can you find mine?
Get it back. Yeah, and then I also change everyone else's because I'm Democrat, and that's what we do.
Yep.
Wait a minute. You guys get to vote?
Well, it also votes as a full vote too.
That's news to me. How often are these election things?
Not that often.
Okay. I gotta get to the next one. I keep getting scared away.
I think we have midterms coming up soon. Is what I keep hearing.
I didn't study
on my news podcasts
about food. They talk about midterm elections.
No. Like I said, I really am attempting to like be a person in this world and not just exist in my nonfiction food history life.
I bet they can make it work. I bet the original food that they had at the first midterm election was something gross. What they used to eat back then, coal or something.
Yeah, it's probably goat.
Yes. Actually, you know what? It's probably oysters. Oysters was huge.
Yeah.
So I have a question. If we're going to talk about oysters, I'm going to talk. So you do the Portland thing. We've seen you in Portland doing the thing they did. You went out for oysters, and you're always doing stuff. You're a big gooey duck person.
I am. That is. I don't know why I'm no longer the yogurt lady. I'm just the gooey duck lady.
The gooey duck gal.
Especially on TikTok.
Okay.
So I don't like the name gooey duck. It's misleading because it might be gooey, but it's certainly not a duck. So I wanted to pitch some new names to you for gooey duck. Since you are the gooey duck gal, I think you could probably help us get this over with. And as I'm saying that, I realize that the reason I said that I don't like gooey duck, my names don't fix that. So whatever, just forget what I said that. Here are the names that I'm pitching for gooey duck. Yucky duck is one of them.
So sticking with the duck there.
Yeah. See, again, it doesn't really help.
Yes.
If you don't like that one, I got big gross clam.
Okay.
And then I got one more, and it's sort of like the face hugger from Alien.
Okay.
You don't like any of them? Okay. You know what? Back to the drawing board. That's okay. That's okay.
I think that my knee-jerk reaction, and I think it's just because I kind of like alliteration, is Calamity Clam. The old Calamity Clam.
Wow. we
That's
didn't even go
It's
into
a
the writer's
calamity.
room.
Yeah.
That was great.
Usually we go into the writer's room to make these better, but what Sarah just did right there was show us that actually you don't have to go anywhere. You can stay right here and make it better.
That right.
Why have we been renting out a writer's room all this time when we can just do it here?
Because I think we're hoping that the value goes up.
Bring me on a podcast. Start asking me silly questions.
Calamity Clam, come on, that's gold.
What other questions do we have here?
I'm glad other people think I'm funny because I crack myself up.
I have a question.
I got a question real quick.
Okay, Reeves, please, thank you.
This is important. Is there a Top Chef group chat? Follow up, who's blowing it up? And follow up to that, why is it Tom?
So we have a season chat, which was after the show aired. I probably don't need to inform all of you. One person was deleted from that chat.
Yeah.
And then we recently had like a little kind of reunion get together, and some people didn't show up to that because the monetary value was not high enough for them. So we have a separate like little chat there. I think that the group chat is like kind of over, but the person who usually blows it up the most is Maria. Maria is always the one is saying, "Happy Sunday, my kids."
That's adorable. I like that.
Yes.
In fact,
really
if
good.
she stops doing that, I would then message be like, Maria, you okay? Maria, where's my happy Sunday?
Yeah.
Where's my happy Sunday? This Sunday's
she's
lost.
in the process of opening another spot, so she's probably busy.
She's allowed to not text Happy Sunday to everybody.
Yes, or Merry Christmas, or whatever it is.
That's fun. I might cut this part, but you mentioned someone didn't come because there wasn't money. We asked someone to do the podcast, and they said that they wanted a bunch of money, so we didn't bring them on. But and I wonder if it's the same person. We'll never find out. We could say it off air. We could not say it off air. We'll never know.
I'm gonna say it probably is.
Okay. All right. All right.
Keep it in.
Yeah, man. We didn't say anything. Look, we didn't say anyone's name.
Yep.
And it's all good.
Say anyone's name.
Yeah, we just said maybe next time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe next time.
And then we asked them for money. We said, can we have
the counter we set was, how about you give me some money?
Yeah.
We pushed back the paper with it said, give us this amount.
Oh, did you get a did you get a contract too?
Yeah.
We did, but what happened is our lawyers looked through it and they said that that we just don't have the capital to like the back. We have to put our houses up, and I just got this house, so I don't want to lose it.
Yeah, I just got this condo. I don't want to lose it.
Yeah,
lose my
house. It's
Sarah, what are you doing to keep Portland weird? Are you doing your part?
Weird? I definitely am doing my part.
Good.
I just roam around, slinging fish. These days I go everywhere. Honestly, I've actually been really what's made me really, really happy has been traveling around for work and doing what I have been doing, coming back to the Bay Area so frequently to do dinners. I have a huge network here, and it's just something that I want to kind of keep going. And I don't want to lose my network here, so it's really important to me that I continue to travel. Portland is my home base. That's where I have an apartment. Obviously, my business runs out of there, but I really am. I've only been there this year, a few weeks at a time. And then I kind of go out and do my thing. And having Tiny Fish Co. and kind of getting out there and being a little bit more creative about carving my own path in the food industry, it has been great because I finally have the chance to almost at least attempt to set up the life that I want to lead, which is one of where I am constantly getting this change of scenery and I'm constantly being inspired and exhausted, hectic, but my creative juices are flowing again now that I'm in SF, whereas before, working from home in my apartment, just doing my videos and whatever else I do, it gets very mundane very quickly. So for me, it's all about having as much change of scenery as I can possibly do, and I'm so incredibly grateful and lucky, but man, have I hustled to create this life for myself right now. And maybe this isn't how it's going to be in 6 months. That's the scary part, is that I don't know what my life's going to look like in 6 months, but it's also kind of the fun part and the exciting part as well. I mean, most people my age are settled down and have kids and stuff. I don't know. I get bored really easily, and I kind of just have to keep moving.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's the life that I want to live, I think, too. But you know what I did? I got married, and I didn't do that. No, that sounds. My wife's gonna listen to this review. I'm gonna cut this. No, I love her. I love you, sweetie. This is great. I got the 9 to 5, and I'm just like,
this is why I'm single, though.
Yeah.
I'm single because I'm like wild and crazy and do this shit all the time.
They can't catch up. They're like, they're like, we gotta let's go get some dinner, and you're like, no, I gotta go can a fish, which you don't do, but you're involved in it, but you gotta be there while they do it.
I have a question.
Please, Jamal, thank God.
On the show, Tom Colicchio often called you quirky, which called you quirky a lot. I didn't think you were quirky. I think you were normal. I mean, it's just normal, just you being you. Mm-hmm. But to other people, it's like, oh, this is not something we're around a lot. So, someone with a personality on the show. So my question is, what is the most Sara dish you've made since being on the show?
Gosh, since being on the show, the most Sara dish. I kind of, not a dish on the show, just after the show. Yeah. Well, I use my products a lot. So I have been kind of like formulating these different recipes. I have one. This actually has no tiny fish in it. I just did this and it came out so delicious. If I had a restaurant, I'd put this on my menu. I made ice cream out of brie cheese and it was so fucking good. Man, I shocked myself. Wow. I did brie ice cream with like I basically made caramel sauce, but instead of deglazing with butter and cream, I deglazed with reduced apple juice. And then made like a brown buttery pie crust crumbly situation, and it tasted like apple pie with a piece of cheese on it.
Wow.
Delicious.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry right
now. Because I like the sweet salty combo. So having the cheese in there is a real easy way to not have such a sweet, which is funny because on the show, Padma kept saying that all my desserts were too sweet. And I was like, I make the saltiest desserts I know. Insane.
Can we talk about the judges for just 1 second?
All right, hold on.
Let's get into it.
If we're going to talk about the judges, let's do it. And maybe this is the name of the segment called Last Chance Edition.
Should we earmuff Tom right now, though?
Yeah, hold on.
Well,
hold on. I'll earmuff him. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh, he's run away. I was going to say there.
Sit down and be quiet.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He's on.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Shut up.
So apparently
I just said earmuffs, but.
Yeah, so Tom is at Jamal's place?
Wow.
Okay. He's earmuffed.
Tom's at your apartment? He's in your condo?
Because we were talking over the script before the interview, and I told him he has to be quiet. He can't say anything. And now he has. Did you give
him his toys?
Yeah, I gave him his iPad.
Okay.
So you can keep busy.
So he's got headphones on.
He's got headphones on, iPad on.
And I hope you are, Sarah.
It's a missed opportunity if you didn't give him his dream journal, quite honestly.
Yeah, we'll see. I think you're actually doing a disservice to him because too much screen time. He needs to be able to be creative. There's too much screen time.
Well, he wants to watch his show, and I said, "Here's your iPad. You can watch your show."
Well, because you give him everything he wants. I know he fusses and cries if he can't watch his
show.
Brian,
I'm just trying to make it out here, man.
Yeah. He needs a minute. He needs a break.
I'm trying to make it out here, babysitting a 50-year-old chef. Like, what do you want from me, dude? I'm doing it by myself, man.
Okay. What was my question?
What were we talking about?
The judges. So I know
Yes.
that Top Chef is everyone's a big fancy cooking and stuff like that. Padma often says like things are too sweet. They get that a lot. They kept saying that her food was too big. And to that I say, like, what the fuck, man? Like, just
Brian
eat the
likes
fucking
big
food,
sizes.
dude.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like? I mean, we're talking heavy
Yeah.
cream here. Like, this is too much. Shut up.
Yeah, sometimes the judging was a little bit weird. You'd have two judges take one stance. Tom obviously admitted that he missed Padma, so they usually had the same opinion about dishes, and then Gail and the guest judge would have sometimes the polar opposite feedback, which would happen a lot to me. Actually, I would get polar opposite feedback. You just kind of have to say, okay, thanks. I guess I don't know how I'm going to make you happy and you happy and you happy, but all right, I'll try.
I'll take salt out and then put salt in. Got it. I'm right on that. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. What's funny is my desserts that were too sweet usually had miso in them, which is salty.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing over there. Do they know what they're doing over there?
Yeah. Did they taste the food? Do you think they're making it up? They're phoning it in?
Well, it's funny too, because you are told that it's not being judged on the temperature when it gets there, because it's just impossible to have it at the right temperature. But by default, if you cook something and it's meant to be eaten hot, but it cools down, then you're gonna not perceive the salinity in that food as much. Like, there's just no way to say that you're not being judged on the temperature. Of course you're being judged on the temperature, because temperature has a lot to do with the way you taste and perceive things in your mouth. So I don't know.
And you can't exactly fire back at judges' table with like, well, the food was cold, so sorry.
Totally. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Because they're going to fire right back at you. Well, we don't judge about that. Honestly, what I realized mostly on my departure was, if you end up being that person who's like talking the most and defending yourself the most, you're probably going home.
Oh boy.
Oh, interesting.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I kind of had this like out of body experience during that Restaurant Wars elimination, and none of my team was coming to back me up, even though like so many things happened that weren't shown or aired. And I was like, I'm the one talking too much right now.
Yeah. It was almost like
you felt it.
Yeah, it was almost like
I was like,
it
seems like I'm the leader of the group, when that wasn't at all the situation. I was the one questioning the leader of the group.
And much like the old club, they got rid of the one who's asking too many questions.
They got rid of the one asking too many questions. I know.
Wait, I want to say something, because when you were eliminated, then you fired in the Last Chance Kitchen. You look like you were like, yeah, I know we're friends, but I'm going to destroy you. And that was kind of the energy. Like, those doors flung open. It was like, is it just me, or is the glass melting behind her? Because she seems
ready to
very
go
radiated right now.
Well, don't tell Tom I told you this, but I basically had to spend an entire week in a hotel room by myself before I filmed Last Chance Kitchen. So I was just kind of excited to be around people.
Yeah.
I hadn't talked to anyone. I was like, we got TV back, but in a hotel room eating takeout food. I had to be chaperoned for like a maybe 1 hour walk a day. Honestly, this is what I did. I filled up, they give you like a ton of bubble bath and shit. So I kept filling my tub up and like making the biggest bubble bath as hot as I could, and then I just used it as a jacuzzi.
Nice.
That rules. That is so. So, do you get to pick the person that chaperones you on your walk, or it's just like some random person that's not going to talk to you? And you just walk around?
It's So it's funny because you have like, you have your handlers when you're in the competition, and the people who, take care of you and all your wants and desires and needs. And then when you're out of the competition, it's like you have the like doom and gloom team, of course.
Yeah.
You get
So,
the ugly
it
ones
was
that aren't
Yeah.
allowed to be
right.
near the
Yeah.
talent.
Some random PA.
Yeah.
They just came on
So
board.
I had to have the doom and gloom person. You couldn't really like talk to, if you vibed with someone, you couldn't talk to them. And I had some producers who would come down and check on me though, because I'm a very like, I'm a sensitive person. I very when I do something, I put my whole everything into it. So when I was in the competition, like nothing else in the world was in existence for me. That again, now I'm understanding why people like me for reality TV shows. But like nothing existed outside of that competition. And so I took it very, very hard. So I had a couple of the producers that I got along with come check on me,
That's great.
which obviously I got over it.
Right.
No, you're still hurt. I can tell. I feel like I want to be very aware of your time, conscious of your time. We've been here for like an hour,
Yes.
but I feel like we're doing a disservice to everyone because we got the
Honestly, I'm good.
the bubble.
We
You were in the
we
bubble.
talk all night.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Tom,
I'll
did
clear
you
my-
hear that?
I want to talk a little about the bubble season because you were in like the full on
Yes.
bubble season. If you feel like if you know what your experience with that was, and also we know that Last Chance Kitchen is like Tom's thing. It's like his thing. He's the creator. He's behind the camera. He's the director. He's in the editing room. So we want to know like what it was really like to be in Tom's playground because like last year he's up there. He comes up with the ideas. And everyone's like, Tom, that's not a good idea. And he's like, I'm gonna do it. And he's he makes him do it. And he did the car thing. He drove the car around.
Oh, jeez.
And
That was
wanted-
insane.
He wanted
That
to
was
be in the
insane.
car.
I think it was like 12 minutes or something that we got for that challenge.
Yeah.
I have no idea
Yeah.
how I cooked anything. It's crazy. So being in Tom's World was great. Last Chance Kitchen is a lot more fast paced. When you get, even in a quick fire, you get announced the challenge. There's a delay, we'll say, before you actually get the like, and go. You got to do a bunch of different takes and run up to this thing. It's a whole thing. With Last Chance Kitchen, it is literally like, this is a challenge and okay, go. So you really have no time to think. You have no time to overthink, which generally speaking is where I get in trouble. So I think I did decent in that world because I didn't overthink. Again, don't tell Tom, but you really when you film Last Chance Kitchen, at least for us, it's back to back to back to back to back to back. And so by the time I got to competing against Byron, not only is my brain just mush, but like I'm tired. I've been running, I'm sweating. It's crazy. So it increases I would say decreases the likelihood of getting back into the competition. And it really, it's just hard, man. It's hard.
And then you leave because someone made a traditional bento box and you actually used creativity and they didn't like that.
Yeah, I knew some of it was a little bit weird and wild. But I've learned to kind of embrace that about myself. I can't do anything like everyone else. It's just not in my DNA to do that. And so I'm figuring out now how do I embrace that and use it as a superpower as opposed to being sad about it and thinking what's wrong with me. Because I thought what's wrong with me for so long. Now I'm kind of flipping that around a little bit, flipping that script and saying, no. I offer this completely different perspective. I don't know where I got it from. Maybe it's going to suck, but at least I'm trying something different. And that's how I feel about my company right now. And, about the things that I've kind of got in the works for, my company and expansion is maybe this isn't the normal thing that everyone does, but there's no reason it can't work. And there's no reason that I should stop trying to do things that bring joy to me because you never know, until you try. And also, life is boring if everything is the same. Really boring.
Yeah.
If everyone just bees themselves, everything will be different and diverse,
Not some people are.
Absolutely.
No, not everyone.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Some
because
people should be different.
I have this like love hate with TikTok because I feel like TikTok has like really at the beginning was, just embracing the weirdness of humanity and allowing people to be themselves and be weird. But now it's falling into the same kind of trap that Instagram kind of did, where you have to follow this pattern because there's an algorithm, and now everyone's kind of doing the same shit, and it's just getting boring, man. It's just getting boring. I don't know.
Yeah. I was in a sketch group that did Rizzle, which is like this fake TikTok that was a thing for a while, and we were doing these like Rizzle videos, and I don't know, I can't do front facing stuff. It's like really weird. So I applaud anyone who can do the front facing stuff, because it's just like, I don't know, it's a lot of just like, hey
It's
everyone, this
hard.
is me. Like, it's just a lot of like, you really gotta turn it on.
Yeah, no, I don't like that at all. I mean, I've tried and attempted with some of my videos, but honestly, I'm just like, I gotta do me because it's gonna be better ultimately. Fun fact though, I actually mostly only listen to podcasts with comedy comedian hosts.
Oh.
Give this one a shot. It's not bad. We've got mixed reviews.
Yeah.
Someone
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah, some of the reviews will say like, this is the funniest Top Chef podcast, even though they don't want to talk about Top Chef too much. And then some of them will say like, honestly, the worst Top Chef podcast. That's what some people will say.
Some of them will say, go listen to Pack Your Knives. It's better than this podcast.
And I know you haven't listened, but you've been on the podcast. So would you say, honestly, this is the worst Top Chef podcast? Or would you say it's somewhere in the middle?
I gotta be honest. I've had a lot of fun. I did one. I think it was called Talk Chef not too long ago, and with another comedian, Rika. And that was pretty fun. You guys definitely. I don't tell her, but this one was a lot more fun.
Okay, well, she
I think
listens.
it was mostly.
Yeah,
I think it was mostly just because you laughed at my jokes so good. You were like,
Oh,
yeah, Sarah's funny.
We're solid laughers. That's you know what.
We like
And since we're
a good
comedians,
time.
laughs don't come easy. Reeves and I used to coach improv together. Reeves famously doesn't laugh at anybody.
I don't laugh,
Yeah.
but that was when we were teaching, and it was to build up their thick skin. So it was. But
Yes.
this is funny, and I'm having a good time, and I'm laughing. I'm glad that we're not the worst.
No, definitely not the worst.
That's
Dale
good.
loved us. I mean, if you like Dale thought we were
I
a
love
hoot.
Dale.
He's very nice.
I thought Dale was great.
Yeah, Dale.
Yeah, he always so there's like certain Top Chef alum and just superstars out there, whoever, who always will like my photos, comment, direct message me if I have a question about something and I ask them a question, they'll get right back to me. So you kind of again, you see who the big celebrities are, and but it's not till a little bit after the show.
All right.
Yeah. You got your like Baltagios, who I don't think anyone could ever talk to outside of TV, and then you have your like Dales, who invited us to his restaurant, showed us around, took us on the roof, was very nice.
Yeah, super
Fabulous
nice.
guy.
Dale's a great guy. Voltaggio, I've met Michael Voltaggio. Interesting.
Okay,
Interesting guy.
he seems like he's the okay one.
Dude.
Brian seems like he wouldn't talk to you, not because he doesn't want to, but because he's not been programmed to talk to strangers.
Yeah.
No, he's definitely a kitchen robot for sure.
Yep.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm
And
doing.
see, and we-
I don't want to be a kitchen robot anymore,
Oh yes, I completely get it, and this buys into what we've been telling our listeners, that he is a robot, and that he maybe
Yes,
came back
you
from the
heard it here.
future to
Yes.
save Michael Voltaggio.
Which
So
also
there we go.
that
It's
makes
back
sense
now.
why
Makes
why
sense.
one of the contestants in season 6 is named Sarah Connor.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes,
Terminator.
Oh, wow.
That's a movie.
that's a whole movie.
Terminator. Dun, 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 dun.
That is a whole.
Do we need to
that's
foam?
a whole darn movie.
All right, so before we go, I just want to say thank you for being here. But we have one more
Oh,
segment before we go. We do this with all the
do
Top
it.
Chef contestants we have on. It's called Add Foam, Debone, and Send Home. This is where you select from the three of us which one would you add foam to, which one of us would you debone, and which one of us would you send home.
And if you have any questions on it, just let us know.
Yeah, because it makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
Which one would I send home? I think, gosh, or add foam.
Add foam.
Who am I adding foam to? Does it matter what I can add foam to anyone, right?
To anyone.
Yeah.
Well,
This is-
I'm gonna add. I'll add just a little like baby foam to Brian.
Okay.
Baby foam.
Okay.
That's
Good.
nice.
Solid choice. Solid choice.
I'll add a little baby foam there. What's the next one? Sorry, I was attention.
Debone.
Debone.
Debone. Who am I deboning? All right. I think I would debone Reeves, I guess, because I
That's
probably want to
great.
eat you since you're cooking all those New York Times
That's-
recipes.
You know what? That's perfectly. I'll take it. That's great because it means by
no.
process of elimination, something
Jamal.
is true.
But
That's
I'm
almost
only
always
okay.
true.
But I'm only sending Jamal home because I know that Tom Colicchio is hiding back there, and he really needs some attention.
That's
you
a
know?
great
That's
reason.
it.
That's a
the
great
only
reason.
Very
reason.
nice.
The only reason.
We should tell you that almost everyone sends Jamal.
Not almost. Everyone sends me home.
Yeah, even when Tom isn't there. So it's very interesting.
Even Harold Dieterle sent me home.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
Everyone's sending me home. All right. Well, I'll talk to my therapist about what that might mean.
Yeah.
It's all about looking for patterns. So
Yeah, I'm finding a pattern.
Yeah. More about how you react to those things. You can't control these
Yes.
outside things. It's how you take them in process
Yeah,
and then
sorry, I
use
take
them.
them in process. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
At least I had a good reasoning, though.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good
And a
reason.
lot of people, when we asked Harold why he did it, he said, "I don't like Jamal."
Oh wow. Okay. See.
I don't like that guy. I don't
He said,
like
"There's
him.
something about him. I don't like him."
There's
I
something
don't like
about
him.
him. I'm not sure about the jokes.
Yeah, he
Send him
didn't
home.
like what he was bringing to the table.
Mhm.
And that's fine. I took that on the chin, and it's fine. I know.
Yeah.
And I did go home. So he sent
Yeah.
me home, and I did go home.
Can't win them
So
all. I mean, you seem to already be at home, unless
I am
you
at home.
secretly live with Tom,
yeah.
which wouldn't surprise me.
Well, he's got a train to catch to
You
Georgia.
gotta go back to Georgia.
Yeah, it's a
Georgia.
midnight. I can only get him the midnight ticket.
It's a midnight train.
Yeah,
Okay.
to Georgia.
Is he going to do another episode of Alone, kind of on the way? Just jump out the train and
Oh
There you go.
gosh,
I hope not.
fend for himself.
There we go. I'm gonna talk to him
That's
about
a
it.
that's a friggin' TV show.
That's
He
a
did-
decent
well,
on the
that's what
train
he's
and then
trying. He's
you gotta
also
jump off somewhere.
He's trying to get that on. He's trying to get Chef Alone in the Woods going. He's also trying to get, what is that show you say, Reeves?
He's trying to get Fart Boy Island off the ground.
Oh my god! I can't believe he said fart boy. Okay, so there's this crazy thing. I've been.
That rules.
Hi, this is how I keep Portland weird. Here you are.
Yes. Okay. So you've made. Okay. Good. So
there-
now we can let the people know Portland that you are keeping it weird.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's not me, although now I feel like everyone's gonna think it's me. But I have seen these like graffiti tags all over Portland recently, and it just says "fart boys." It's everywhere.
Okay.
Everywhere I drive, I look around and I just see "fart boys."
Well,
It's crazy.
we know who it is, and it is Tom, and he loves doing these Banksy style advertisements for his shows that are coming out, which are Fart Boy Island, which is all about we don't know who actually did the farts on the island. So he's hitting up Portland, I guess. I don't know.
I know. I mean, I guess maybe they're scouting it as a location.
Mhm.
You never know.
Maybe they're geotagging it for this location.
Wow.
There you go. There you go. I mean, nothing is sacred these days, really. Like social media, Fart Boys
Right.
is getting out there.
Right. And the nutrition, the
Yeah,
food.
exactly.
Nothing's safe.
What happened to just picking a strawberry out of the ground and eating it? What
Right?
happened to that?
It's like just the simple life.
Yeah.
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 I gotta say, I was inspired by your video you did a few months ago. You did the pickled watermelon rinds, and I never had that, and I did that. Very good. I really enjoyed
Very
that.
good. It's really delicious. It's a great way to kind of like utilize the whole melon. I think it's super tasty.
I really enjoyed it.
Did you do the? Did you put the crystallized ginger in it?
I didn't have crystallized ginger. I had ginger. I just put regular ginger in
Yeah.
there. I tried to. It made a little. I put some like red pepper flakes in there to give it a little
Yeah,
kick.
the crystallized ginger is kind of a game changer when you put it in pickles. It's
Really?
really cool, actually. Yeah, because I don't usually like sweet pickles. So when you add a little bit of that crystallized ginger, it adds a little sweetness that generally makes things taste good. But it's also, it's like, it's spicy, but not ginger spicy. So you get that flavor, but it's not overwhelming. It's pretty cool. It's pretty
I'll
cool.
have to get
And
some
plus,
so I can try
then
that.
then you have a little like pickled ginger candy situation, which I guess sounds weird when you think about it, but it is pretty tasty.
No, I'll give it a shot. I'll make the purchase. It was on a whim. I was like, what do I have in the pantry that I can make work with
Totally.
this?
Yes, that's basically just how I cook.
And mostly it's those thankfully I had things like ginger and vinegar. Usually in the pantry it's just like dog food, and that doesn't turn out well when I cook with that.
You're not supposed to eat that.
My, you're actually lucky you're not at my house. Jesus, my house is crazy. I got shit everywhere. I've got like 10 pounds of milk powder and like 10 pounds of citric acid hanging out. I don't know what I'm doing with my life.
10 pounds.
I buy in bulk. Apparently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's bulking
Smart.
right now, and then in
I'm
a couple months she'll be
bulking.
cutting. So
Yeah. You buy
Yeah.
10 pounds
It's all
of
thing.
citric powder, people think you're gonna bury a body.
yeah.
Potentially, yeah. I actually have the really strange it was for when I had this idea, but I bought this like it's basically the size of a wine barrel, but it's a plastic like barrel with a spigot where I keep all the dead bodies.
Okay. And then the
And
acid.
that is immediately making me think of the Dahmer TV show.
Yes.
Army Hammer, we talked about it full
Yeah.
circle.
There are a freakish amount of serial killers that come from the Pacific Northwest.
Mhm.
Well, it's rainy there, and
Bum, bum,
people get
bum.
upset. They're
Yeah.
raining, and they look for Bigfoot, and they
Yeah.
can't find him, so they go on a killing spree. I'd do
Yeah.
it too. Where
Watch-
is
The
he?
lack of vitamin D.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot of time to think while you're staring at the rain. I know. It's
Everyone check
Wild.
on your kids tonight, and by kids I mean baby goats.
Nirvana's gone. What are you gonna do? Just go out and kill people.
All right.
Kurt Cobain's
Okay.
left. You got nothing left to do.
All right. Thank you so much for indulging us, Sarah. Before you
Yes.
get out of here,
Of
do you have
course.
anything that you want to plug?
I mean, eat my fish. I sell it online. Go to thetinyfishco.com. Boom.
Get a
you what?
shirt. They got
I got
cool
some-
shirts.
I've
do
got
have cool
some
shirts.
cute merch. I just came out with these like Pac-Man inspired shirts, which I love. I don't have them on my website yet, but honestly, just DM me. I'll sell it to you.
Hell
All right,
yeah.
we're gonna get
That
some
rules.
merch. Thank you so much,
I love
Chef
merch.
Sarah, for coming on the show. You were a
Yes.
blast.
Thanks for having me. This is great.
Hell yeah.
All right.
And also the
Until,
other thing. Okay.
until next time, we're gonna pack our knives and go.
This is great, guys. You guys got something here. This is fun.